What is up, everyone? Guys, listen up. After watching this video, you're gonna be able to do something like this. Okay, I'm super excited to talk about this, so let's jump right into it. Now, in order to make this insane burst DPS build, you're gonna need the Nightfall weapon. And in order to get the weapon, you're gonna have to kill the Nightweaver boss in the area where, you know, the werewolves run around. Whatever it's called, Losomn or Losomn. I'm not gonna try pronouncing that ever again, but yeah, that area. Now, for the people that, let's say, don't have the Nightfall weapon, you haven't progressed that far yet, I have another build video with the Gunslinger and Hunter combination. That one doesn't need any boss weapons or any secret weapons, and it still does crazy amounts of burst damage, so make sure to check that video out. I'm gonna drop the link in the description. Okay, let's get back to Nightfall. The mod on this weapon is absolutely cracked. Enter the Nightmare Realm. Nightfall gains infinite ammo, a 35% fire rate increase, 10% lifesteal, and becomes fully automatic. The wielder becomes significantly harder to hit while moving, disables other weapons and skills for the duration or until Dreadwalker is deactivated, and all of this lasts 10 seconds. Now, for the mutator, we're going to be using the battery. Ranged hits increase the next weak spot hit by 15% per stack, max 5 stacks. This just works really well with our overall setup here. So let's quickly take a closer look. This is our fire rate normally. Boom. And now we're going to use the mod. And watch this. And it's full auto. Infinite ammo. You don't have to reload. You don't have to worry about anything. With the help of the Gunslinger, we're going to take all of that to the next level. We're going to be using the Bulletstorm skill. Increases fire rate by 20% and reload speed by 50% of all ranged weapons. Lasts 20 seconds. Single shot weapons become fully automatic. Kills instantly reload the current weapon. On top of that, we get Swift Shot. Gain another 15% fire rate, 25% range damage, and 5% crit chance for all firearms. So our fire rate just goes absolutely insane. On top of that, we're going to have Post Up. We have Quick Hands, which gives us another 10% reload speed. And finally, Sleight of Hand. Using a relic, reloads equipped firearm and increases range damage by 15% for 10 seconds. The cool thing is, even when the mod effect is gone, you're able to have much higher fire rate than normal, which helps you to charge up the mod once again. And on top of that, don't forget that you're still going to be using the weapon at full auto because of the Bulletstorm skill. Now let's take a look at the Hunter, which is going to be our prime class. We're going to be utilizing Dead to Rights. Dealing 55 base range weak spot damage, extends the duration of active Hunter skills by 3.5 seconds, and extend timer beyond its initial duration. And the reason we want this is because we're going to be using Hunter's Shroud. Now trust me when I tell you, I've done a lot of testing with all three of these skills. Hunter's Focus is pretty good, but it's not as consistent. And Hunter's Mark simply doesn't do as much damage as Hunter's Shroud. And we're going to see both Hunter's Shrouds and Mark in action here in a minute, and you'll see what I mean. But first, let's take a look at this skill right here. Hunter becomes shrouded, reducing enemy awareness and making them harder to hit while moving. Attacking or activating a mod or skill will instantly exit Shroud, and this is perfect because we are going to be utilizing the mod on our weapon. Exiting Shroud applies Mark to all enemies within 10 meters and grants Ambush to the Hunter for 2 seconds. Ambush increases ranged and melee damage by 50%, which diminishes over its duration. Ranged and melee attacks apply Mark. Hunter will automatically shroud again after 1.15 seconds if no offensive actions are performed. This one lasts 15 seconds, right? But because we're using Dead to Rights, we're going to be extending that further than that. And pretty much in boss fights, you're not going to run out of these skills thanks to this prime perk right here. Okay, now let's take a closer look at Hunter's Mark in comparison with Hunter's Shroud. First, we're going to start off with Mark. We use the skills here. Becomes the boss. As you guys can see, the highest numbers we're going to get is 833. This is with Hunter's Mark. Now, don't get me wrong. The DPS is still crazy here. We just melted the boss. But now let's take a look at Hunter's Shroud. We use the Gunslinger skill, Bulletstorm, then go Invis and Unleash after popping the mod. Look at those numbers. We even get a 1600 100 damage number right there. So yeah, it's just way better. Now the passives. Deadeye, which in my humble opinion is one of the coolest passives in the game, especially if you're trying to create a build that does insane burst damage. Gain 40% range damage, 15% weak spot damage, and 5% range critical chance. Then we also have Return to Sender. We have Urgency, which gives us another 15% reload speed and 15% increased movement speed after a kill. And finally, Intuition. Using a relic extends the duration of any active hunter skill by 10 seconds. And when you combine all of these things with this beast right here, you get insane damage numbers. You're melting bosses, you're melting ads, elites are not a problem. It's just on another level. Here are the fragments that I'm using on my relic. You can pause this and take a closer look. And here's all the traits that we're going to be utilizing. Obviously, we have ammo reserves, long shot, we have vigor at tier 9. We also have maxed out spirit and expertise. And one of my favorites actually is fitness. This really makes the dodge feel so much better. And finally, we have bark skin. Okay, now let's get into the jewelry. Guys, I've tested so many different options, and if I'm being honest, there's quite a few of them that you can utilize depending on what you're looking for. For example, in the amulet slot, I like the Ankh of Power. This one gives you 15% increase to all damage, and consuming a relic doubles the bonus for 15 seconds. And what you can do is use a relic before a fight, and for 15 seconds, you're going to be dealing 30% more damage, which is really nice. However, if you're looking for something else, for example, survivability, I really like to use the Rusted Navigator's Pendant. Grants 15 health, 15 stamina, and minus 15 armor encumbrance. It's also good if you're trying to stay on the lower side of the weight. So for example, if I slap this on, we have more health and our weight drops to 46, which means that our dodges just become way more responsive. So that's also a great pick. However, if you're looking for more damage, I think Ankh of Power is a great option. Another one would be Inert Overcharger. It gives you 20% increased fire rate, reload speed by 15%, reduces your recoil by 50%. So if you maybe are struggling with the recoil, in that case, this one is a great pick. Now I'm going to quickly show you all the rings that I'm using. And once again, this is going to depend on what you're looking for. Survivability, if you want to go out full on burst damage, we're going to be rocking Ring of Flawed Beauty. Ranged weak spot damage is increased by 25%. Ranged damage is reduced by 15% when failing to hit a weak spot. Then we have Shard Banded Ring. Now this one, I feel like if you do have it, is a must because it increases the mod damage by 12% and you can actually feel it when you're using this ring. Next one is the Malice Ring. Dealing weak spot damage increases weak spot damage by 10% for 7 seconds, stacks up to 3 times. So pretty much you're going to be dealing 30% more weak spot damage. And finally, we have Probability Cord. Increases crit damage by 30%. And as you guys can see, all of these things, when you combine all of them, the damage just goes crazy. And it's just so much fun to see those crazy numbers, especially with a weapon like Nightfall. Honestly, everything just melts in front of you. And finally, guys, let's quickly talk about the rotations you want to be using in boss fights. You're going to start off with Bulletstorm. You're going to use Shroud right after, then pop the mod and go all out. Now, the cool thing is, once the mod is finished, you'll still have your buff from your Bulletstorm. And at this point, since we're hitting a lot of weak spots, we're going to be extending our Shroud skill to like 20-25 seconds. So you don't have to worry about that at all. Since we have around 10 seconds left of Bulletstorm, now every hit we land on the boss is recharging our mod. Another really cool thing about Hunter's Shroud is this. When you use it, you go invis, right? So let's say we're going to start some damage here. Let's say the boss is attacking us, we dodge away. By the time we dodge, we're already invis once again. So the next time we break it, we're once again using ambush, which means we get increased damage by 50%. And you just keep reproccing this. So yeah, guys, this build is extremely fun to use and it's very, very effective. This isn't just good for bosses. Elites get destroyed and I'm not even going to explain how easy it is to kill the normal ads. So put in the time and build this character. I'm going to be working on more Remnant 2 content, so stay tuned for that. We're going to have more builds, boss fights, all the cool stuff, so I'm very excited about that. If you guys did enjoy the video, and only if you did, slap the like button, subscribe to the channel, as it really does help me out a lot. The goal is to hit 50,000 subscribers till the end of the year. I know it sounds crazy, but hey, you gotta dream big, right? And as always, ladies and gents, never forget to share that positive energy all around. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.
Let's go! Let's go, baby! Let's go!
I mean, we literally have the best community of all time. Oh! Oh, he got no scoped.